Hey, what's up guys, aarava here, and welcome back to an episode of my F1 2018 career mode, episode number 140 today for the Italian Grand Prix in Season 7. If you guys did miss the previous one, the Belgian Grand Prix, then be sure to go check the one out before you see this one. But getting into this episode then for Monza, hopefully a good episode. We've got a slight chance of rain in qualifying there on the first screen. You can see going into this one, we've got McLaren upgrading. I think that looks like a one ultimate upgrade or maybe two major upgrades to go level with us pretty much near enough on the performance chart there. And so another sign of our car basically going backwards, because if McLaren were to upgrade it any more, then we would be the fifth fastest team on the grid. We'd basically be right bang in the middle along with Toro Rosso nearly, and so this season is just going to get harder and harder, and we've not actually got long left now. We're over halfway. We're into the kind of last third nearly of the season, so it's going to be a bit of a difficult one. Obviously last episode we fought back really hard. We did the damage limitation race, fought a lot against our teammate, and a bit too much in my opinion, but we did the job there. But Gasly ultimately won the Grand Prix, so he is now level on points with us in the championship. So whatever happens this race, if he gets ahead of us or if we get ahead of him, it's going to be the lead of the championship for either way. So it's a bit of a crucial round. The Italian Grand Prix, I don't know how it will go, honestly, because our car has been a little bit sluggish in a straight line lately, actually, and that's because I've been needing to run higher downforce because the car just doesn't have the pace in the corners either. And to add to more misery, maybe, is Saturday was absolutely soaking. You know, the indicator was saying there's only a tiny droplet of rain, maybe, for Saturday, but then as soon as we kind of went into Saturday qualifying, the weather forecast changed, actually, and the game told me, no, it's going to be raining the entire time here on Saturday. So there might be a bit of a dry period in Q3, but that's if we make it in, because we first need to get through Q1 and Q2. So Q1 was in full wet conditions. You can clearly see the blue wall tyres. We've set one lap so far. We've come across the line for a second flying lap. That gets us up into P5. Thankfully, by the end of it, I do scrape through. I will say this, though. I was P5 for the entire session up until I went to the dark and faded back out to the results. And lo and behold, surprisingly, I went all the way down to P14 in a matter of 2 seconds. So that wasn't great, but, you know, you can't really do too much about that. But anyway, we move into Q2 then. We're setting times on intermediates now, and so you can see the weather is getting better as we go on through the session, so I think that indicator of it being dry by the time we get to Q3 probably will be correct. So on a first flying lap, it was a pretty decent lap, actually, I've got to say. The second lap, we gained a bit of time, but not really too much, and by the end of the lap, we're pretty much just clutching at straws at how much time I'm actually gaining here. So, to my surprise, the first one was better. Usually I do better on a second run on intermediates or full wet tyres, but lo and behold, on the top right there, hardly any time gained, really, pretty much negligible. And so through the last corner on the third flying lap, actually, I went out for a last lap right at the end of the session. I don't even gain any time. I go red by the end of it. I thought I may as well finish the lap anyway because the checkered flag's fallen. And so we do get into Q3, thankfully, though, up in P3. My teammate P6, so I was quite happy with that. I was actually, you know, our car seemed pretty quick in the wet conditions. The Mercedes car is looking very strong indeed. So that maybe bodes well for us if Red Bull are pushed down a little bit. But now Q3 is a different ball game because it is completely dry. We're to the end of the session because it was still raining at the start of the session. So it's a very green track. And we waited right at the end to set our flying lap because I wanted to wait until the track was basically as dry as possible to set that flying lap. At the moment, Hamilton is on pole position. They're provisional pole, I should say. You never know, because a lot of teams are going to be setting laps right at the end of this session, not just me. So we're going to try and do the best job we can on this one and only lap on the set of super soft tyres. Going through, Leclerc set the fastest time, then Alonso there, and then Verstappen. So a lot of purples being set. There goes Hamilton again with another purple. So everyone and their mothers pretty much setting a flying lap right at the end of the session, so we'll see who's the best one. Looks like Gasly, unfortunately for me, looks like he's now provisional pole, my main championship rival here, and so that's pretty crucial for him. What can we do then? Will it be anywhere near the front row, cross the line? No, it won't be. It's P8. It's time-wise, it's not even near Leclerc. I mean, we're going to be on the same row together of the grid, but time-wise, I just lost so much time. I don't really know what went on there. I want to say maybe a little bit of a simulation as well from the AI there, setting some good times, but at the end of the day, can't complain too much. I'm alongside my teammate, and like last episode, we're just going to have to make the best of it and try and fight back and try and outdrive this car in the race because, well, I keep saying it, but it's just because it's so true. I can't really do much else apart from that because there's nowhere else to go for the R&D. It is going to be a long slog in this Grand Prix as it is going to be for the rest of the season. But let's just go to the grid then and see what job we can try and do. Hopefully the slipstream here around Italy will help us in the race.
The Italians love their cars and they love their racing. And of course, they love it here at Monza. Home race for Ferrari, of course, who've had 18 wins here since 1950. But you know, there's not been so much luck for the locals in the cockpit recently. The last Italian driver to win this race was back in 1966. So what now? I think it's time to make some more history here today. With top speeds reaching 215 miles per hour, only a few places can challenge Monza's crown as the fastest circuit in F1. Hard braking zones going into the 3 chicanes make up the majority of the 11 corners on this 3.6 mile circuit. And just in case the slipstream wasn't enough, 2 DRS zones will help encourage some closer action. Anthony Davidson is alongside me as usual for the race today. Let's talk about the engineer. They must be starting to feel the pressure at this point, and surely there's a real shot at the title on the cards here, but one error at the wrong time, well, that could throw it all away.
True enough, but that pressure goes both ways. A failure or a mistake at this point could spell the end of their championship hopes.
And so with that, let's have a look at the starting grid ahead of this Italian Grand Prix for Season 7 of my F1 2018 career mode. On pole position, the man in fine form, Pierre Gasly in the Red Bull Honda on pole. Alongside him on the front row is Lewis Hamilton in second place. The other Mercedes car, Nico Hülkenberg in third with Fernando Alonso in P4. Carlos Sainz takes P5 with Leclerc in P6. Myself in P7 alongside Esteban Ocon. And Ricciardo and Van Dorn round out the top 10. Vettel in P11 and Max Verstappen down in P12 with the grid penalty. So that's why myself and Leclerc are not on the same row. Bottas in P13, Magnus in P14. Perez and Lance Stroll next with Raikkonen and Grosjean alongside each other. And round the grid is Sergei Sorokin and Brendan Hartley, all three of them last with grid penalties before this Italian Grand Prix. Right, so we've been gifted one place then due to Verstappen's grid penalty, but it's still going to be a bit of a tough time here for myself and Leclerc. I'm not really looking forward to this. I don't think our car will have too much great pace, but like I said, the slipstream could help us out in race conditions for sure on the game. It is quite powerful, so that will definitely be a factor here. But it's going to be a simple one-stop, super soft to the soft tire, filling on a little bit less of fuel, but still having about over one lap there to play around with the rich mix. But here we go then to 5 red lights. So the Italian Grand Prix, my championship rival on pole. I'm down in P8. We have to make this one count again as we go to 5 lights, and we're underway, and it's an okay start initially, but then in 4th and 5th gear, bogging down a little bit compared to the Toro Rosso, flies past me of Ocon then. Can we go to the inside and try and get that position back as Leclerc does that to the Renault, actually both of them in fact, so Leclerc with a nice dive once again straight away on lap 1 there, though Leclerc's AI has really been fancying the dive bombs every single episode so far this season, as we're now up into P7 ahead of Ocon there, so good start all in all really, but still ahead is Gasly in P1, the 2 Mercedes side by side for P2 and P3, and Leclerc has got the better of the 2 Renaults, so at least that's one thing for us. Looks like our car is actually seemingly a little bit quick at the moment in this opening lap, or that might just be the Renaults slow again. It has been a bit of an odd thing. Renault are still right up there in the performance chart, but they've just not really had any sort of race pace for the last 5 episodes, I would say, but now we see the 2 Mercedes cars still battling away. Hamilton on the inside there, trying to get the better of Hülkenberg to get him back, and here comes Leclerc with the almighty speed and the big dive bomb again. Leclerc really going for it, and that's going to slow everyone down there as it was side by side through Ascari. Here we go now, getting the inside line, getting the better run on the exit on both Renault cars of Sainz and Alonso. Boxed in a little bit though between Leclerc and the Mercedes car of Hülkenberg there, so on the outside, very close stuff from hitting Leclerc. My team out the inside of Parabolica, there goes the Renault of Alonso, I think that is, as we're now side by side just about with Hülkenberg. It's all so close. We've got 5-6 cars so close together on the main straight. Look at that camera shot. We're 4 wide. It's 2 abreast between the Renaults and the Alfa Romeo Saubers there. Down the inside though of 2 of those cars, and we're up into P3. So what a straight that's been. 3 overtakes done on one straight, up into P3 ahead of both Renaults and my teammate, and now we can try and see if we can do anything about chasing after Hamilton, although unfortunately for me, I've got to say, at the end of lap 3 that was just a pipe dream, and really in reality we're going to look behind us because Alonso is coming at us at a rate of knots now in this Grand Prix. He's right up our gearbox. He moved to the inside. We're going to try and squeeze him there, but he's got the inside line already. He's halfway alongside us, and so we go defensive, and in the end he just outbrakes me completely. I take it nice and easy because there is no point fighting him too much, because I just didn't think we are going to have the pace to keep Alonso at bay, and to be honest I'm not too sure of my chances of keeping Hülkenberg at bay. He's trying to go round there outside there, so we're going to go defensive to the inside line, but that's going to tighten up our corner potentially. We go oh so close and actually tap tyres there a little bit, but mid apex he just gets that. We have to tuck him behind now, and the curbing unfortunately doesn't allow me to slam on the accelerator as much as I could, and Ocon now is coming alongside us, but we get enough slipstream off the German there to the inside of Parabolica. Now very fine margins on the apex there, but we just about managed to keep our foot in, and Hulkenberg gives us some room on the inside line, so we're back up into P4, but there goes Ocon now for the move, so it looks like maybe those two will fight as Ocon pulls alongside that Toro Rosso, at least in the hands of Ocon. I don't know where Van Dorn is in all this, but Ocon is absolutely on fire in a straight line, that Toro Rosso car. I don't know if they just set up that car up correctly for this one, or, you know, we've seen in the past the Toro Rosso has been very quick in a straight line as of late, but we haven't really seen the Toro Rosso give us too many issues in the last couple of episodes. But here is now Ocon round there outside, and he sails cleanly past us. Like, literally, there was no even defending that position. He just waltzed past us, and so I'm going to have to try and be a bit patient and basically get back in that slipstream. Like I said, this is the only thing I have going for me here at Italy, is that the slipstream is so powerful here around Monza on this game that if we do lose the position, if it's not a situation like Alonso where he's literally just gone off in the distance, if I can keep them within that 1 second, I should be able to out-slipstream them and try and get back in the position. But Ocon again sends one down the inside, but this time he's gone very slow to the inside of Ascari, and so we're neck and neck and side by side through the exit there. Very nice battling there with the Frenchman to get back up into P4, but now my engineer thinking about the pit stops. Looks like we're going to probably come in around lap 9 to lap 11, depending on where we are, basically, in terms of the situation. For now, we're kind of making a bit of a train, I can't lie, from Ocon, Hulkenberg, even the likes of Verstappen and Carlos Sainz, and obviously Verstappen recovering from that grid penalty he got. But here goes Ocon in the sister Toro Rosso team there on lap 7 there, side by side into turn 1. He gets the better of me, but he locks up very badly into turn 1, but we just can't make anything of it, and we're going to have to wait patiently until the end of that same lap through Ascari. Now DRS open before that, so using that to our advantage to close up and keeping it nice and clean and tight over the curbings there. Don't want to try and ride them a bit too much and lose some momentum. And now in the slipstream, can we make the move to the inside just like we did with Hulkenberg? It's going to be another close one. Maybe we're a bit more alongside him so we can try and jostle for position and actually squeeze him out, open up the steering wheel and push him wide, and we're back up into P4, forcing our way through. But again, on lap 10, he comes knocking, the Frenchman, annoying the hell out of me here at the Italian Grand Prix. He goes to the inside. I thought he was going to go to the outside there, so he kind of faked me there a little bit. And now we lock up on the front left, and we almost go completely off circuit there. And so Carlos Sainz has completely done me to the inside, and now we're under pressure from the Dutchman, Max Verstappen. So another error here in this car. It's proving a little bit difficult. I've had a few errors in this car in the last 2 episodes as the car gets more difficult and difficult to drive compared to the other cars around me. I'm trying to push, and I feel like I should have more downforce than I have, but I just don't there. And so that was a bad mistake from me, and so we lose one position. But Sainz comes straight back in the pits then for his first pit stop. So we'll see if we can maybe try and do anything on the overcut as we have DRS and we re-overtake S-Man Ocon. So now with some clean air, maybe if we push on fast enough, we can maybe try and jump Sainz in the pit stops and try and get that position back. We lost effectively, but on lap 11 we come in then to box this lap. Ocon stayed with me, so he's going to come in on this lap, I assume, also, as we've now got a Williams of Lance Stroll, I believe, stricken on the outside of the circuit on the left-hand side there. So we're going to come in now for our one and only pit stop of the Grand Prix onto a set of soft tyres. Ocon will do the same, and so now it's the question of looking around on the mini-map and around the circuit to see where the likes of Carlos Sainz are, if we can try and make this overcut work. Also, it looks like Hulkenberg has also come in for a pit stop as well, so a lot of us going a bit longer than others. So let's just see, onto a set of soft tyres there, no qualms with the pit stops, not getting held up in pit lane, thankfully. Actually, it looks like Ocon might have been held up because there's quite a sizable gap then behind us on the pit lane exit as I come out then. And there goes, I think that is the Renault of Carlos Sainz. Going to be very close maybe into turn 1. No, not actually that close. Sainz breezes past us there by about 2 car lengths, and he is ahead. So now we have a job in this second phase of the Grand Prix to just push on and try and catch the Spaniard. Meanwhile, it's Pierre Gasly leading the way from Hamilton in second place in the Mercedes car. Then third place, it's Fernando Alonso. So you can see why I didn't put up too much of a fight with Alonso earlier on in the Grand Prix, because he's just got way too much pace. He's in a different world right now. P4 though is Carlos Sainz. I'm in P5, desperately trying to close up to him if we can. So that's pretty much all my effort in the next few laps, just pushing as hard as I can to close up that gap. And meanwhile, further down the road, we didn't really see it there, but Leclerc, after having an initially good phase of the first part of the Grand Prix, he is way down the order, and he's behind the likes of a Williams car. He's outside the points at the moment, so he's had a dismal race, and it kind of highlights the good job I've been doing at trying to drag my car up the order really in this Grand Prix, I've got to say. So now we move on to a fight between the Red Bull and Mercedes car there of Verstappen and Hulkenberg, and to be honest, this is the kind of fight I hoped was going to be the case for Hamilton and Gasly, because at this stage, it's looking like Gasly might have another easy win here, the second win on the trot, and so that's not going to be great news for me in the Drivers' Championship there. But as those three fight on, there might be a chance for Leclerc to close back up to him. We now move on back to our POV, lap 17, 10 laps to go in this Grand Prix. Been pushing hard, very much so, for the last 6 laps of this Grand Prix, but only now have we had the momentum to maybe try and overtake him in the next lap, I hope, because it really has been a real tester here at Monza, how much pace I can pull out this car and drag this car up the order. As you saw with Alonso's performance, the Renault car looking pretty solid around here, but Sainz has been a little bit slower than his counterpart Spaniard. So here we go now on the left hand side. He's also on medium, so we're on soft tyres, so kind of, you know, we're expected to be faster here. We've got DRS open, we breeze past him up into P4. Very happy at the moment, but the only caveat is, as I go on through this Grand Prix, my tyres are going to wear out faster than Sainz, so he will come back at us. There's no question about that on lap 18 as we move on to the end of that towards Parabolic, a little bit on the grass, a little bit as we go wayward and wide, and Sainz pulls alongside us, and he's ahead of us now into Parabolic. I have a little look to the inside there, and Sainz almost pinches us completely into the apex. Thankfully gives us the room at the last minute, so we have a nice little side-by-side moment there, bit of a squabble, but now we get in the slipstream, DRS open again, and on the right hand side this time we're going to be past him once again for P4. But that's the issue here at Monza, obviously such long straights. You know, if you don't waltz away like Alonso did to me, the guy behind you can just close back right up to you with DRS and slipstream there. So we're going to have probably a fight all the way to the end of the Grand Prix, to be honest, with Carlos Sainz, I would say. Meanwhile, speaking about fighting, Verstappen, Hülkenberg and Ocon have been fighting so much so in this second stint of this Grand Prix that Leclerc has actually closed up to them. So Leclerc's gone and overtaken that Force India of Bottas in the background there, and he's now trying to hopefully get up the order into what could be P6 as those guys go 3 wide there, and Verstappen gets the better of those two, but Leclerc with a double overtake maybe on Hülkenberg and Ocon to the inside. He's actually alongside Verstappen as well, so he goes for the triple overtake. Doesn't make it work, but still, to be fair, you know, even though Leclerc was quite slow in that first stint then, after he got overtaken by the 2 Renaults, he's still got the mojo here in the corners. A beautiful little dive that was for the double pass, and now he's on the back end of Verstappen trying to find a place around the outside. He goes, and can he make it to the inside? I think he might do, and squeeze out Verstappen to overtake the Dutchman here. 3-man overtake in the span of half a lap. This will be very impressive from Leclerc, and a good recovery drive, to be honest, from where he was earlier on in the Grand Prix after the pit stop phase. There he goes to the inside. He's made it work, and that's a stunning little recovery up into what will be P6 in this Grand Prix. But back to our fight then on lap 22 with 5 laps to go in this Grand Prix. Carlos Sainz in the mirrors there, proximity arrow with DRS as well. He's going to launch one to the inside. We go defensive on the outside for a tighter line. He's locked up very badly, and he's done the mistake I've done, but even worse, he's gone off circuit there, and he's actually triggered the safety car as with yellow flags there, and so he's basically done a more dramatic mistake to the one I did. Like I said, bad lock up there. Both tyres are locking. The front left was the one to go first, but then he just tried to slow down even more, and I guess the momentum he had with DRS was just too quick for him to kind of get the thing slowed down there. I was going to go defensive anyway and switch back on him and go tighter on the apex, and in the end it worked out even better, because if I didn't do that, I probably would have been taken wide with him and would have gone off with him. So very thankful for that, but a very weird safety car, to be honest, a very soft one. But anyway, either way, we're now closed up to Alonso. At this stage, I was thinking, hang on, could we maybe get a podium here and try and limit the damage even more? Gasly's still P1, Hamilton P2, Alonso P3, blue flags for a few lap cars in the way of us as we go on the restart for the green flag, but unfortunately, you can see already Alonso bolted quite quickly on the restart there into turn 1. He tries to have a little bit of a look at Hamilton into turn 1, and through the second turn, I felt actually quite close to him, so I thought, okay, maybe there's still a chance. There's only 2 laps though. We're on the second last lap already, so we really don't have a lot of time, and unfortunately you can already see every single straight that Renault just has a lot of pace here, and we're quite a heavy car with a heavier fuel load we've got from saving fuel onto the safety car. And so onto the last lap of the Grand Prix, Gasly, look at the gap he's got. Gasly in only 2 laps time on the minimap there, he's already pulled such a good gap to Hamilton in P2, and I desperately tried, but that's as close as we get to P3, and in the end it will be P4 unfortunately, and the loss of the lead of the championship with Gasly winning the Grand Prix.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
So another fantastic victory for Red Bull today. And Anthony Davidson, give me your thoughts. How did they accomplish this result?
Well, the safety car completely changed the race, didn't it? It's hard to say exactly what would have happened without it, but there's no question that they came out of that situation in a good position.
So Gasly with a very convincing Grand Prix win, and that's really annoying, to be honest. 2 wins on the trot for the Frenchman, and so my rival will be very much ahead of us in the championship. Once again, the momentum will swing back to him. You know, it was a 12-point gap initially, then we got a 13-point gap to him, then we're on equal on points. Now he's back again with that gap to us, so it really is yo-yoing about with myself and Gasly. So if that's anything to go by, the track record, next time will be my turn to get the gap back on him, but I'm not too sure because next time out is Singapore, so that Red Bull should be pretty strong with the downforce. But at least in the constructors, we're in the lead of the championship still. Red Bull P2 now, with Renault dropping down to P3, so at least we can take some solace. Our team is actually doing quite well because Gasly's the only one doing the job for Red Bull Honda compared to Verstappen, really. That's quite questionable, actually. You know, Verstappen, he was a very good match for me last season when I was at Red Bull Honda, but Gasly's just come in and completely taken over the team, so I wonder if Verstappen will be sticking around for much longer at Red Bull. We'll have to see, but for now, yeah, put in my hands, I can't do too much. Again, like Spa, I did the maximum I think I could have got. And again, I think this race shows, you know, very clearly, it's not going to be an easy job to win this championship. This car is not very fast. And so I'm just begging the team, I'm begging the F1 gods, really, to hopefully turn up to the next few races and our car just works a lot better than it has been doing. But you can see so far, there's a reason why, to be fair, Gasly almost in a way deserves to have the lead of the championship. He's won so many races compared to my 2, but we've been, you can clearly see, the more consistent driver. So there's two arguments either way. But either way, guys, if you did enjoy that Grand Prix, be sure to smash that like button. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying myself wrestling a slower car up the grid to try and take it to the man. If you did enjoy it, then let me know in the comments below. If you're new around here, do get subscribed for weekly formal content. I've been aarava. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.